You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. It's Tuesday. That's a weird look. There we go. It is Tuesday, July 14th. Thank you guys for joining us wherever you are, however you are taking part in the program. We greatly appreciate it. Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on the air for a Tuesday in July, middle of July. Beautiful weather outside, sunny, beautiful day. I'm going to get hot this afternoon, but we are working our way through the summer. We've talked about it already this week. Over halfway through the summer. Football season right around the corner. A lot of stuff to get to. A lot of great things to get to today on the show. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. Make sure you have subscribed to the show. If you have, thank you. If you have not, what are you doing with your life? Come on. Like get subscribed. It helps us out. Comment, like, all of those types of things. And then tell a friend or two about what we're doing each and every weekday at 10 a.m. I'm talking sports and a whole bunch more. It's been a bunch of fun, so we appreciate you guys watching the show. If you're watching us on X, we appreciate that as well. X has been very, very good to us, so make sure you're staying interactive both on YouTube and on social media. A great chat going on YouTube. Everyday people, everydayers, I should say, coming in, talking sports, and then people popping in, asking questions, questions for guests, myself, comments, complaints, criticisms. We love all of it, so go to the YouTube chat for all of those types of things. And today's show, a little more opinionated, especially the second segment of the show. So we'll get to that here in a second as well. We're also streaming on the WHO Plus streaming app. We appreciate all our viewers in Central Iowa. Love what we're doing with WHO as well. So we appreciate them and the viewers in Central Iowa as well. And of course, you can check out the show each and every day on the podcasting platforms as well. Anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it be Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, Apple, you name it, wherever you get it. Put it Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and you can listen to the show like hundreds upon hundreds of people do each and every day as well. We appreciate the audio audience of our show as well. Yesterday, a great way to start the week. A lot of viewers for yesterday's show, and for good reason. We caught up with Tom Kakert. Tommy's on the show a lot, but Tom just got back from Vegas and saw some future Hawkeye, hopefully some future Hawkeyes in action. A little update on Caden Daughtry as well, and then some insight from rumblings from the Iowa basketball program. Tommy was great yesterday. I was able to record a podcast with him last night as well, so make sure you go check out the Hawkeye Report podcast sometime today as well. Tom was great yesterday in the show as well. Also, we welcomed Bill Seals from Cyclone Report. Talked to him about the Jamie Pollard soon-to-be retirement and a whole bunch of other Iowa State Cyclones issues, including the upcoming football season. Big 12 Media Days were last week, so got his thoughts on an extremely new look when it comes to Iowa State football. A football program that is picked to finish 16th out of 16 teams by the media in the Big 12. So great insight from Bill Seals. Check that out as well. Also, we talked a bunch of everything with our good friend John Marks as well. So go check out yesterday's show if you happen to miss that as well. Today, coming up on the show, really excited to welcome a familiar face here in the Quad Cities that we haven't caught up with enough over the last several years. Jack Heflin, former Iowa Hawkeye, former Northern Illinois standout, also former Erie Prophetstown football standout, will join us on the show. Jack's getting ready for year number 6 in the NFL. Awesome journey. Against the odds, underdog aspect of the entire thing, made his way, always wanted to play at Iowa, had a great career at Erie Prophetstown, walked on at Northern Illinois, earned a scholarship, played great there, had a COVID season at Iowa, weird season that it was, but a productive season, made the Packers his first year out of the NFL, out of college, and has been in the league and hanging around for the last 5 years. I'm getting ready for year 6 with the New York Jets coming up this season. So great conversation with Jack Heflin about his journey, Iowa football in general, and a whole bunch more. Erie Prophetstown, of course, coming up in just a matter of moments. Really excited about that. So Jack Heflin coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, we talked about it earlier this week, a little bit on the show, more on my social media, but they brought out a who's got the best offense. It's lists time of year. So in sports radio, this time of year can be a little thin, whether it's sports radio, podcasts, whatever it is. So a lot of lists come out. And recently somebody put out who's got the best offense in the NFC North. And they put, quarterback, running back, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, tight end. And I looked at it and I said, damn, the Detroit Lions have the best one at every position. Arguably, and we will argue about it, but I kind of stand by it. I can retract or understand one of them. Obviously, might be number 2. Other than that, I stand by it. So my good friend Bobby and Metcalf, former sports writer here in the Quad Cities, Bears fan himself, will be along later on in hour number 1 of the show, into hour 2, because this one's going to go a little while, I bet, to kind of break down those positions. Who's got the best quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight end in the NFC North. So great conversation with Bobby Metcalf coming up as well. We also are going to look back a little bit at yesterday's show. Really good stuff from Tom Kakert. So we'll get to all that coming up a little bit later on in the show. So a busy Tuesday here on OTA. We appreciate you guys watching the show. Before we get rolling, as always, I want to look at some news and notes. And really, when it comes to the world of sports right now, not a lot's going on. You look at it, All-Star break for Major League Baseball. We're getting ready for football. Things are World Cup coming up tonight, but a slower time of year. So it was the Home Run Derby taking center stage. And first and foremost, I love the Home Run Derby. Growing up, it was like must-see TV. I watched it later last night. It wasn't even on my list of things to do. Now, mind you, my life's a little different than it was way back in the day when I was an idiot with nothing to do, no kids, not married, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, life is busier for myself, but got to watch it up here in the office last night. Later, I believe it was on Netflix, which was kind of weird. But anyways, it was on. It was fascinating to watch, and it was I hate to say it as a Cub fan, but it was a St. Louis Cardinals stealing the show. Jordan Walker winning the Home Run Derby, beating out Kyle Schwarber, and doing so by homering in his last 6 at-bats last night. He becomes the first Cardinal to win the Home Run Derby, which is crazy to think about because you think of the Cardinals with Mark McGwire and Albert Pujols and the talent they've had, especially in the Home Run Derby era. It was impressive to see Jordan Walker winning the Home Run Derby last night and doing so in an impressive and dramatic fashion, homering, as I mentioned, in his last 6 swings, including this one right here to end it and to walk it off, beating Kyle Schwarber, doing so with everybody booing, obviously, in Philadelphia. So a cool moment for baseball last night, one that I wish was on a bigger stage. The All-Star game coming up here soon. So and then we'll kind of talk coming out of the All-Star break, how things look for the Cardinals, the Cubs, the White Sox. All of them can think postseason right now. Will they all make the postseason? Probably not. Which ones will and who's in the best positions, we'll get to those later this week as well. But I thought a cool moment, despite being the Cardinals, for Jordan Walker last night in Philadelphia, I should say. So baseball last night, football right now in OTA as we get to catch up with someone that's has an amazing journey in football and now in the NFL. So joining us now, a familiar face here in the Quad City area, the Erie Prophetstown area especially, and of course with the Hawkeyes as well. Former Iowa Hawkeye Jack Heflin joins us right now and off there with Matt Randazzo. How are you, my friend? Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm just blessed to be here. Thanks for having me.
I love it.
It's awesome.
We're going to talk about your journey, getting ready for year 6 of professional football in the NFL. You're with the Jets right now. Really excited to get to all of those kind of things. You're also married too, so I don't want to bury the lead. First and foremost, 2 years married. Did you fool her? Like, what happened?
Yeah, I tricked her pretty well. I guess you can say that was my best play in my whole entire career. I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations with that. Year 6 in the NFL. When you hear that, what goes through your mind?
It's such a blessing because it's funny, my wife and I talk about it going to every year in camp. And my first year was obviously undrafted guy. That's when the last year of tier cuts. So after the first preseason game, there was like 10 guys cut. Next one, 10 more. Then it was down to 53. I looked at my wife and I said, my first goal is just to get past the first cuts. Mm-hmm. And she I'm still there. Next cut, I'm still there. And I'm like, holy cow, I didn't get a call on final cut day. I'm here. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a long journey. I've touched almost every part of the United States in my whole entire career, just circling around the whole entire nation. But it's an unbelievable blessing to still be doing it.
Getting ready for an opportunity with the Jets this year and the last couple out in LA. Before we talk about the Jets, if you could tell that kid who was just waiting to make the tiered cuts something now, what advice would you give him right now, knowing that you've gone through what you've gone through and the journey that you've been on? What advice would you give a young Jack Heflin right now?
I'll tell him just to keep your chin up, put your best foot forward every day, and don't take anything personal. It's a business.
Oh,
exact thing I'll tell him.
No, absolutely. Getting ready for an opportunity with the Jets. The last couple of years with the Rams. Take us through where you're at. Obviously, I know you loved it out in LA. I love the people out there. What led you from the West Coast? What led an Iowa boy or an Illinois/Iowa boy from LA to New York? It sounds like a reality show, but what led you to New York?
It's just a great opportunity. I mean, I wanted to be a part of something, the rebuild with Coach AG, Aaron Glenn. I wanted to be a part of, building something special there. I truly believe in what he's implementing into the organization. And I think I don't think I know they have the right leadership to get it done. And I mean, maybe I can be a small part of the story. Maybe I blossom and be a big part of the story. That would be, you don't know. And I guess my whole career has just been taking a chance on myself, and might as well go take another one.
You look at yourself 6 years in. For people who haven't followed or watched or seen, what is the biggest difference right now between Jack Heflin now, year 6 in the NFL, and that kid that came out of Iowa with a bunch of talent and a bunch of work ethic? But I feel like you've probably gotten better in the last 6 years for sure. What's the biggest difference, or where are you at in your football career?
I'll say the biggest difference is just the confidence. And I mean, obviously, I'm a way smarter player now than what I was as a rookie, trying to keep I always tell people I was an alligator my first year, like when they're just sitting there and their nose is barely above the water. I said that's what I was my rookie year, just trying to breathe. But now you're confident in yourself, you know who you are, and you have your identity, and you just don't really put too much, like everything. I would read into everything a coach said to me when I was young, but now I'm just like, it's going to be what it's going to be, and you got to show up and work hard and be the person you're going to be, and go out there and put your best brand out there. And and I'm pretty blessed myself. I got a beautiful wife. I live pretty good life. I'm living my dream, and a kid from Provincetown, Illinois, being a walk-on at Northern Illinois and then transferring to Iowa and being undrafted. I've beaten the odds a lot of the times. And it's funny, with my mom, we always talked about, like, yeah, Mom, there's only like 0.5% chance. And we would always look at each other like, there's a 0.5% chance that you can make it. So why not be that 0.5%?
I love it. Jack Heflin joining us right now and off there with Matt Randazzo. What has camp been like? I know you're not in there for good. I mean, you got a little bit of time before you go there for the season. I'm assuming there were things done in June and pre-work. Have you been out to New York? Your thoughts on what you saw and being around that energy, and obviously a newer regime here in the NFL with AG entering year number 2 at the helm of New York.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the early, the summer workouts. We got after it. You can't. There's one thing you got to do when you're building a new culture is you got to work and see guys who want to work. And there's 90 guys there who wanted to buy in and be part of something special. So I think there's it's the NFL. Every roster's pretty loaded in the NFL, no matter the outsiders who aren't in it or haven't been around it. Like, well, they're not as good as the other team. I'm like, there's really good ball players on every roster, and I think we got a lot of really good ball players, and we got really good leaders. And so I saw nothing but growth from day one that we started on the grass till the last day we're there. So hopefully going into it, when we went home, we were all hungry to come back to camp and compete amongst each other, and iron sharpens iron out there, see how good we can be. No one knows. We don't know. So you can be whatever you want to be.
It's funny you mentioned the word culture. I know it's a cliche word, if you will, but I know with Dan Campbell's background, or excuse me, AG's background, I'm a Lions fan. If you didn't know, I got Dan Campbell right here. So I got my great guy right here. And that I think is what you're cut from. I mean, you go back to the University of Iowa and the culture that was built at the University of Iowa that you're part of there. Can you see that? Can you see, I know it's cliche, but can you see what AG is trying to do and guys buying in and the culture part of it making sense in New York as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I always think it's funny because people try to make the game of football super difficult, all X's and O's, but it's pretty simple. Guys who work hard, guys who know their playbook, guys who fight for each other, guys who have each other's back. I'm talking going out and getting dinner with each other, getting to know people and their family on the team. You work a lot harder for someone you know, comparatively speaking, to someone you have no idea. And there was a lot of guys hanging out because OTAs, I mean, you're done Thursday night and you're in New York. So it's like, so what do we do for these next 3 days? Like a lot of guys aren't flying home, and there's some guys who will, but the guys staying back, it's like, dude, let's go out. Like, let's go get dinner. Let's go play a round of golf. Like, let's go do something together. Like, let's just get to know each other and just hang out, enjoy each other's company. And then going from week one, guys were hanging out more and more. And the next thing you know, it's like you're having fun while you're doing the terrible conditioning, like the conditioning and the work you're like, gosh, I got to run today. But then you're having fun doing it. Next you know, you're like, oh, wow, that was a breeze. And you got more work done and pushed each other during that. So, I mean, it's unbelievable so far, the growth. And like I said, we don't know how good we're going to be. No one knows. Like, you know, you got all these projections in the NFL with this team's the best team and this one, everyone's projecting. But every year there's about 7 or 8 teams that you're like, whoa, where do they come from?
Yeah.
And you just want to be one of them teams.
Absolutely. Jack Heflin joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Year 6, and you look around and you look in the league, and we talked before we started. You played a year at Iowa with Logan Lee, and he's doing his thing. And you look at every roster in the NFL, and there's like, well, there's a former teammate, or there's a guy, there's an Iowa guy. Is there? And we keep being told. I was told by Nick Baumgartner before the NFL draft that being an Iowa guy has some decent weight in the NFL. Have you seen that over your career with the culture you come from the University of Iowa, the reputation that they have, albeit a short COVID weird year that we'll talk about in a little bit when it comes to Iowa. Do you see that? Has that helped you along the way at all? Or what is the perception of Iowa football in the NFL?
I mean, it all starts with the man up top and Coach Ferentz. I mean, you're not going to find a better class act, better man at the head coaching job, I think, in college football, probably for the rest of time. It's truly someone who cares about his players. He treats every single one of us like one of his sons. He would treat his son. Like, he buys into you. He wants to get to know you, wants to get to know your family. And then you go to the position coaches. Like, obviously I had Coach Parker as a DC, and like Coach Wallace, and they're both like co-DC, and then I had Kelvin Bell and then Jay Neiman at D-line coaches. And it's just from top to bottom, from Coach Ferentz all the way down through the training room. It's just good people, and they recruit the right guys. If you're not a good person, you're not going to last in the program. You're going to get ran out of there. And it's just I'll say the best way to put it, the idea that the program's bigger than you as an individual, and you can't skip the work. Like, I was known for working hard and getting after it. You can't skip it. And they really callous you to be a good man. And then the gravy on top is you blossom into a really good football player. So I feel like they're more focused on building men and building individuals who will be a good father someday for their family, and then turning it into like, wow, I mean, guy's pretty darn good at football too. He might be a first rounder. And it's also just a guy, like I said, guys in the building. Going into the NFL, it carries, because I was talking to one of the scouts, and he goes, yeah, if Coach Ferentz puts a good word in for you, you're going to be all right. That's what they know. And he has such a good reputation amongst the guys in the NFL. I mean, he's had over 300 some guys playing. I might be off on that. And 20 some years, 200 some guys playing the NFL. We're top 10 every year of active players in the NFL. I think it's like 40 some players in the NFL right now. And it's funny because everyone's like, well, Iowa only wins 9 games a year. It's like, you ever try to play in the Big Ten for 12 games? Good luck. Like,
yeah. It's
a really, really good culture. You're constantly winning. You know how to win. You know how to win the right ways. You know how to win. Let's say offense isn't scoring, defense knows that has to happen. Offense is scoring a lot of points, but their offense is explosive. How do we get the edge? It's just one of those things. You learn football. You learn how to compete. You learn how to make things happen. And that's why I think I'm biased, but I think it's the greatest program ever. You can talk about national championships and all that. We're on our way to it, hopefully. But what the great thing about Iowa is you don't think about the end game. You just think about what you got in front of you that day, and we'll get to what we got the next day. That's why I think it's such a special place. You don't think too far ahead. You think about the present.
Well said, Jack Heflin joining us on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. It's funny, we talked before we started that, like, I mean, it was a year at Iowa. You had a hell of a year. It helped you in the next level. It was the weirdest year in the history of college football with COVID. Do you go back and look at that? And obviously you loved it. You had great experiences. You had your guys. You learned a ton, but it was weird. It wasn't a normal year. Do you think back and obviously probably wished it was a little different, but it was a strange season in Iowa City for you for that COVID year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, only 8 games. And like I was saying, like the summer workouts, like you'd be on for 2 weeks, and then like someone gets COVID, next thing you know, half your workout group's gone because was it in contact with someone with COVID. You had to sit out just as much as them. And then you're like, all right, well, now season's canceled. And then they go, oh, yeah, by the way, we got season back on. We're playing Purdue in 2.5 weeks. You're like, wait, what? Like, we got to play a game. So, I mean, well, obviously we started the year slow, but we got rolling pretty well. And, I mean, rattled off 6 straights and not really any close games in those 6 straight games that we won. And it was a fun year. It was probably some of the most fun I had playing football because we're just like, we didn't think we're having a season. Now we have a season. We're playing really good. Like, I'm hanging out with a bunch of guys that I love hanging out with. And it's just kind of great because it was football in the morning. You do online school and then football in the afternoon. It was just like me. It was fun. So, I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a year of what is going on right now half the time. Like, you didn't know. You just took every game you had, you didn't take it for granted because you're looking around the conference. There's 6 games getting canceled because guys can't field a team. Our schools can't field a team, and we stayed pretty healthy, COVID-wise, throughout the year. But it was one year to remember for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to take you back a step further. Go back to high school real quick. Prophetstown kid, played at Erie Prophetstown. I remember you played that year. You played at the University of Iowa. You're playing next to, I believe, some guy named Logan Lee, and he's an Orion kid. And you think to this day, like, so he had Prophetstown and Erie. I think if you combine the size of the two towns, what are you getting to? Maybe 15,000, whatever it is. It's not a lot. And here they are playing next to each other in the Big Ten, and now both playing in the NFL. I guess your thoughts of where you came from and small town Illinois, and obviously what Logan's done, what you've done it as well. It's crazy to think about it in those terms, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty insane to think. Just like now you go a little north, you got Jennings Dunker, who's drafted too. And it's kind of annoying that Logan beat me the only time we ever played each other in high school. I think he was a freshman, and they beat us like 14-12 or something like that. But yeah, we actually like reminisce on it sometimes, just how small it is, like where we're from, and just having the opportunity to keep going. And like, no, you know how it is. You reported in the area for a long time. You don't hear a lot about guys going unless you know you got 2 guys 25 minutes away from each other playing on Sundays, and you're just like, you don't take it for granted because you're like, it can be gone. I mean, they call it the not for long league for a reason, and just to get an opportunity in it. And he got drafted, and he's running with it, and he's getting better and better every year. I actually saw him last Thursday. He looks great. I mean, it's just pretty awesome that we ran into each other at Iowa, and then obviously I went on my own merry way into the NFL, and then you watched him throughout his college career. He just got better and better and better, and then seeing his name called on Sunday or called in the draft was pretty awesome. And then now he's out there with the Steelers doing his own thing, and I'm hoping for a happy and safe and healthy camp for him and just complete growth for him and his career coming up this year. And he's got a new coach, new opportunity, new system, and he's a smart kid, so he's going to adapt and he's going to play really well.
Absolutely. You look at it, Jack, and you play at Erie Prophetstown, and you mentioned the COVID year being some of the most fun you've had playing football. Can you go back to those high school years? I know they seem like yesterday. I don't want to make you feel old, but they weren't yesterday. They're a few years ago.
Yeah.
But what kind of foundation did that give you, being in that town? I know you're proud of where you're from and where you came from. What was those Friday nights like? What do you remember? And what kind of foundation did that help build you as you got ready to move forward in your football career?
I mean, it was one of those things where I loved the game of football so much. I wanted to be an Iowa Hawkeye my whole life. And then I remember, like, we had a good group of young kids, like, coming up through middle school. And it was 5th and 6th grade football. You know, we were by ourselves in Prophetstown, and Erie was by themselves. You know, it's a big rivalry. Like, we're going to beat you guys because we're going to be teammates, you know, in 4 years or whatever. And then 7th grade, we co-opted with each other. And finally brought us together. And then we were just winning football games by like 60 points. I remember one time we were playing a school down in Kewanee. I think it's Kewanee Weathersfield, where they did silver and blue one. And it was like 60-0 before half. And my stepdad's the coach, and he's a former military guy. And like, we were faking out the officials with the triple option. They're blowing the whistle, play dead, but our guys running down the sideline with the ball. We're like, hey, dude, like, we're about to score a touchdown. And they go, if you guys score one more touchdown, we're throwing an unsportsmanlike conduct because you guys are running up the score. My dad, he's like, dude, this is football. Like, it's either going to stop us or they're not. And then we're just throwing in backups, and we're still scoring on them. But it was one of those where we're like, we might have something right here. And then we get to high school, you know, the better kids get pulled up to varsity, and it was like our first time making playoffs in like 15 years at Erie Prophetstown, or not 15, but it was a long time.
Yeah.
And we ended up losing to Newman. And then I was like, it just gave us seeing those seniors go. We're like, dude, like, we got a shot. Like, we could be something. Like, we got a lot of good players. And then, you know, a lot of us played varsity sophomore year. I wish could have won state that year, but we had an injury at quarterback, which stunk. And then we had to move one of our star running backs to quarterback and lost to the state champs. And then junior year was a long, rough year, and then senior year was even more of a rough year with everyone getting hurt. But, I mean, it was just one of those things where we had Coach DeMay, Coach Johnston, Coach Milam, like, always opening the weight rooms up in Prophetstown and then in the Erie, like, just seeing them just driving a bus around, Coach Milam would, taking us back and forth. Like, those guys sacrificing their summers with their own families just to be there to buy into us. And just having those coaches, I mean, I'm forever grateful for them, because I remember telling them I want to play in the NFL. And, you know, I like to play Division I football, and we haven't had that done since Brett Bielema at Prophetstown. So, you know, it's kind of like, all right, like, let's think about, like, real careers. But they all told me, like, you want to do it, let's do it. And they bought into me, and they really coached me hard. And I forever owe them, because I'm here now that built my foundation of just working hard. And obviously having the parents I had too, like my mom, you know, started a hog farm, grew the hog farm up, you know, with basically her and her 3 kids. You know, we got that going. And then some family members helped out here and there, just seeing, like, you got to put the work in if you want the result. And just being able to grow up around that, you know, there's not waking up. I got lucky, I guess you could say. My siblings say I didn't have to do it as much, but because I started taking off as an athlete, my mom started like, hey, you need sleep. But, you know, doing loadouts before school in the morning, and then going to school and going to practice in the afternoon, it's just, you just get used to it, just going to work and being able to have the people who helped me out on my journey to get to where I'm at now. And, you know, you don't forget, because there's hard days in the NFL and you feel like everything's stacked against you. But I was like, I've been in a lot worse situations in my career just growing up as a kid, like, for the percentages to make it, and just feeling like, well, this is nothing. Like, I'm a 28-year-old man going out playing the game I love ever since I've been a little kid, and I get to go do it today. And like you can make it as rough as you want mentally, but it's like I said, going back to being comfortable with yourself, it's the result's going to be the result, but I'm going to make sure that I can do whatever I can to make the result fall my way. So, and it's just having faith in God, and you know, you got to be comfortable with who you are and the opportunity you have, and it's just something that I feel like when I was young, I stressed too much about the outcome, and when you dive in the process and just put your nose down and go to work, you look up, you look kind of, you're not supposed to like reminisce too much, but you look behind you and you're like, holy cow, like I never thought or dreamt I would be in this position in my life. And then you look back, you're like, I've came so far,
Yeah.
but I put the blinders on and went to work, and now and it's just, then you gotta be able to put the blinders back on. You're like, what's next? Let's keep going. And it's something that you're always chasing. I was talking to my father-in-law the other day. I said, the goalposts, said when you first start, the goalposts are here. I said, as you get older, the goalposts just keep narrowing because you're starting to put your target on something smaller and chase that dream. And is what I want from here on out is just, I want to be able to put a good stepping stone for my future family. That's why I play the game, because I love it. I could care less about the money, but I just want to see what I can do, put myself in a great position, so whenever my kids want to chase this dream, I can give them the opportunity and everything they want for it.
Well said. Jack Heflin joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Before we get out of here, I got some dumb questions for you. I have these for everybody as they come on. And first and foremost, I know you're back in Iowa. What's home now?
I live right outside Iowa City.
Okay.
Tiffin.
And obviously try to get back, work out with those guys. What does it mean for all those guys? You probably go work out over at Iowa, and there's every former player possible that's roaming around there as well. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to the about the program? What does it say about the program?
Oh, we're so blessed just to be able to come back and train, because we're in the last lift group right now, and when you're running against a fresh 19-year-old 270-pound defensive tackle and you're 305 trying to run against them, you're like, am I getting really slow, or are these kids really fast?
I love it.
But yeah, but it's fun. It's a blessing to be there. It keeps you sharp. I'll tell you that. It makes you work harder because you don't want to get showed up by the young guys, because you're like, I'm the professional.
Yeah.
But no, it's fun.
I love it. All right. So, if you could have dinner with anybody in the entire world, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
They got to be alive.
No, it's my game. I can do whatever I want. You can do dead, alive, whatever you want to do.
That's a good one. I would probably say, I mean, the easy answer is Michael Jordan. Just want to pick his brain.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the greatest to ever touch the basketball, but I'm a Bulls fan. Yeah, I'll roll with Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods.
I like it. And competitors too. That's the beauty part, is how their mentality and their mind worked is pretty cool. When you get back to the Quad Cities, I know Prophetstown, or their vicinity. If you want to go to Sterling, you want to go in Prophetstown, you want to come to the Quad Cities. What do you have to get? Like, you're gone most of the season. Food wise, are there places you're like, okay, I'm back home, I got to hit this up, that up, and everything else? You got to help me out. What's the places to pick out at?
If I'm in the Prophetstown area, I got to get Arthur's Deli. I get the number 2 from there, and obviously I get the little pasta salad and the loaded potato.
There you
go. Quad Cities, I really don't know around Quad Cities, but Sterling area, Angelo's too, or the Angelo's pizza spot, the spaghetti pizza is pretty unbelievable. Iowa City, I like to hit Basta. I really, really do enjoy Dane's Dairy, little ice cream shop.
Okay.
There's a couple good spots. Pullman for breakfast.
Okay.
The biscuits and gravy are unmatched. The breakfast tacos are unmatched. Trying to think of other little spots my wife. I literally just pull up to anywhere and try everything. Sneaky. Do you like gyros?
Yeah.
At all? a sneaky, really good Euro spot is Zameric's in Iowa City.
Okay.
It's right by Pullman downtown.
Yeah.
I remember pulling up with my buddy in college, like, you got to try this. It's like, you got to get their Euro. I'm like, this is a noodle bar. Like, why am I getting a Euro? He's like, trust me. Had it. Their Scotcheroos, unbelievable too there. Yeah, I mean,
I love it. No, you're
fun.
good.
Yeah.
The best part is, like, I asked you a place or two, and you just basically took us. You might as well be like Guy Fieri on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. You just took us from Sterling to Iowa City with a great little culinary travel. I loved it.
Well, I am a big boy, so I like to eat. So I can eat.
No, yeah, trust me. That's the problem is I'm not a big boy, but I like to eat, and that's it. Doesn't look good on me. It doesn't look as good on me as it does on you.
No, it looks great.
If you weren't playing football right now, what would you be doing?
Either coaching, or when I was home for those 3 months, I was cleaning large farm equipment. I started a business doing that, so I'd probably be growing that, and playing a lot of golf.
I love it.
That's what I'd be doing.
If you weren't going to play football but could play another sport professionally, what would you do and why?
Oh, golf, 100%. I could play forever. And I get to play all the greatest courses on their dime in the best condition.
Yeah, that's a good call. How is the golf game? You golfed at my dad's outing, which, by the way, I need to get you back at next year. We got to figure something out, so I'll be bugging you again next year. You played at my dad's golf outing probably 2021. And I want to say you were newer to the game. Am I right at that point? Were you kind of newer?
Yeah, I was about a year in.
So have you just like skyrocketed? Because I don't want to brag, but Anger and I and Joe and Jake Gervais probably 2 years ago, we won the event. Like, that's how good we were. Like, have you skyrocketed?
Geez, was Jake carrying? I'm just kidding.
No, Pat was cheating. Is what allegedly. Allegedly. I don't want to say that. Yeah, that's the rumor that's going around. I don't want to say that one way or the other. It's funny.
It's your dad's tournament too.
Well, exactly. So, the funny part is, no, he can't yell at me. No, but it was funny because Pat's gonna get mad I say this, but Pat might have tried to, but honestly, Jake it was like good and bad. Like, Pat would be like, I'm going to use a mulligan. And Jake would be like, we don't have a mulligan. And they would fight each other. And it was like the good and Jake and the bad and Pat. I don't know who won, but how's your golf game? Enough about our cheating, Jack. Jack, how's your golf game?
Yeah. Oh, it's hit or miss. So it was funny. I played yesterday with the wife, and I'm very much glory or doom in my golf game. But
how far are you hitting How far are you hitting one? If you get a good drive,
I hit it good,
and it get hit good, you hit straight, you do everything right. Like, what's a good drive for you?
About like 310, 315.
Whew.
About there. Carry probably like 290 with roll. I got the new. I get a little plug for us on the show. A little tailor-made driver helps out a lot.
All right,
but no,
I like it.
The game's good now, comparatively speaking. I'm down to an 8, so I'm playing well.
Good for you. I love it. Last one for you. Superstitious. I don't feel like somebody that's had the journey that you have is too superstitious, but I may be wrong. Do you have superstitions? Are you a superstitious athlete, or are you not?
Kind of, sort of. Like, there's some things like
that means yes. Just so you know, kind of, sort of means yes. Go ahead.
I always got to tape my right ankle first when I get taped. It's always the right side. Tape my wrist is always right to left. My cleats, I lace up my right cleat all the way. I pull it tight. Then I lace up my left one, pull it tight. Then I tie the knot, when you tie your cleats.
Yeah.
But that's really it.
Okay.
That's there's nothing else. It's just, I feel like just little things.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I need to eat the same meal over and over again. Oh, I did kind of early in my career. I had to eat Chipotle every night before a game.
Yeah. Not anymore, though.
If I can get access to it, I still do it. But I think it's just because I like Chipotle so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a good, clean meal. So
healthy, like to eat, all that good stuff. Hey, Jack, I've enjoyed the heck out of this. This has been a bunch of fun. I appreciate you. Good luck this season. We'll be watching from the Quad Cities. People will be looking east at the Jets, and hopefully you kill it. All those kind of things. And I'm gonna bug you about the outing next year. We'll get you back out of that thing.
Perfect.
So, I'm a man. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
That is Jack Heflin joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. That's what I love, is that this area has produced so many great athletes, and they all have amazing, unique stories. There's no cookie cutter way of getting someplace when it comes to sports or life. They all have their own journeys, and Jack's got a heck of a journey going on right now as well. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching OTA. It's a Tuesday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. It's an interesting time of year when it comes to the world of sports. I don't want to say it's a slow time of year. Obviously, on the Iowa side of the river, softball, baseball, a fun week for them. We're punching tickets to state this week on the Diamonds in Iowa. But big picture-wise, All-Star break, we're done with the Wimbledon. We're done with a lot of other things. It's just kind of that lead up to football and to baseball, but kind of a chance to take a breath, relax, and kind of look ahead to what's to come in the world of sports. And this time of year, the old sports radio cliche was it's list time of season. A lot of lists are talked about. Same thing with podcasts, daily shows like this. And we do some here and there. I don't try to do a bunch of them, but one came up the other day that I saw that I had an opinion about that I don't think too many people probably share that opinion. I'm right, as always, but here to hopefully argue with me. When I like a good argument, I call my good friend Bobby Metcalf. Bobby joins us from Columbus, Ohio, fresh back from the John Deere Classic not too long ago. Bobby, first and foremost, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm ready to have an argument with you because I know what you're about to say. So.
Oh, well, before we get to arguing, which is, I think, your favorite pastime, like probably one of the most favorite
Only
things
with
to
you.
do. I
Only
love
with
it.
you.
John Deere Classic in the books. You were in town for the John Deere Classic, obviously, on the show during JDC week. We haven't caught up. We did a little bit. You and I did, but Chris got her up. If I would have told you Saturday night, Sunday morning that Chris got her up would be standing on the 18th fairway in green and holding up that Deere trophy, what would you have told me?
I said about probably the best possible result for the tournament. I mean, he was the highest ranked player in the field. You think about that. He's competing for a major this weekend. He's going to be coming back next year. You think about all the billboards. I mean, the guy is the best possible winner for that tour, not named, maybe Jordan Spieth. And then the storyline with his brother too, being his caddy that week. I don't think you could have picked a better finish for the tour. The only thing, the tournament, I think the only thing you could have asked for better is like if Homa had gotten to 20 under and you had a playoff between Goddard and Homa, because that would have been must-see TV. But really good final day. I mean, that 62 that Goddard shot, I mean, it kind of just like you're out in the course and you kind of keep seeing the scoreboard. You keep seeing his name creep up, and it's like, man, is he gonna catch this thing? And sure enough, he did. And then he said he got Homa doing the same thing, shooting a 64. And yeah, I mean, and Ben Cole's dunking his ball on 18. That was kind of tough to watch, but no, great result for the tournament.
Yeah, you look at it, and we had Claire on earlier in the week, and he talked about those last 4 holes that DA designed. People can talk about the John Deere Classic and the scoring and the birdies and those type of things, but bottom line is those last 4 holes set up where the cream rises to the top. That's what Claire said. Like the best golfers in the world usually play the best on those 4 holes at the end. And I even said to one of my sons, I said, man, you look there, and if Chris Goddard can get in at 20, and you have to have Cole's chasing and having to catch him or match him, like those last 4 holes, and I love how people say they're easy, but they're different from Thursday to Sunday, Bobby. They're different. Like playing those 4 on a Thursday or a Friday or a Saturday are a lot different than playing them on a Sunday. I didn't hate the fact that he went into the water. I didn't want to see him 3-putt after that. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like, man, the best thing for the John Deere Classic obviously was Chris Goddard up and what happened, but I wish he wouldn't have 3-putt. So a fantastic John Deere Classic once again, and it was good to have you back in.
It was good to be back, but you look at those closing 4 holes, and 15 is always a hole that it's like, okay, 15 is a hole you got a par. 16 is a hole, probably par. 17 you got a birdie. You have to birdie that hole, and 18 is a par. I mean, we always say, like, if you're 1 under in those last 4 holes, you're in a good spot. Chris Goddard birdied 17. Ben Cole's bogeyed 15. Now he birdied 16, but he didn't birdie 17. When he didn't birdie 17, Goddard was in the driver's seat at that point. And you're kind of sitting there on 18, and that water looks awfully big when you don't have the experience that someone like Goddard or Homa has. So, but yeah, it was great to be back. It was great to see a bunch of people and see you and just be home for a week. So it was fun.
Yeah, no, it was good to see you as well. The beauty part of it, what Bobby and I like to do over the years is argue. Bobby is a resident Bears fan. I don't hold it against him. Everyone knows I love the Lions, but the other thing besides about me being a Lions fan is I'm just always right. Like I'm really good at like also I look at the Bears without the emotional aspect. Maybe some think I'm wrong, but this came out the other day and it was from you're coughing already, from BetMGM, and it talked about the best offenses in the NFC North, and it kind of just highlights them there. And I looked at it, Bobby, and the first thing I thought of was like, well, the Lions have the best offense in the NFC North. And then I started going through them individually, and I think there's an argument that the Lions have the best player at every position there. We'll come back out on camera. You're already shaking your head. I guess both of those. Who's got the best? We're going to go through them each individually, but am I crazy to say the Lions have the best offense, and then am I nuts to say they have the best at every position, or can you give me one of those two?
You're not crazy to say they have the best offense. I think I'll give you that they have the best offense in the NFC. I mean, I don't think it's like leaps and bounds better than anybody else, but I will say yes, it's the best offense in the NFC. To say they've got the best player at every position, I think is crazy. I won't say that you're not far off in a lot of them, but like Justin Jefferson's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Like, yeah. Top 2. I mean, it's him and Jamar Chase, and I'm sorry. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a great receiver. He's not better than Justin Jefferson. Yeah. That one right there, you can have the argument about every other position, not at wide receiver 1.
And I think
just wrong.
I think they're all fascinating discussions, and we're going to go through each of them individually. But I will say this: big picture, you look at the NFC North, and we'll pop it back up again real quick. If you look at the NFC North, Bobby, like we'll go through them individually. Like I said, but there's not a bad offense. Every one of these offenses are top half of the NFL easily, right?
I would say so. I mean, you're looking at top 10 at positions across the board for a lot of these guys. I think they came out with that. The execs came out with that list a couple of days ago, and some of these guys, are on their top 5, top 10 lists. So yes, 100%. These are some of the best offenses. The question is going to be what happens when you get into November and December with these teams. But man, this could be some fun football to watch.
And you mentioned too, I think these change throughout. I think the advantage the Lions have is they have established stars. They have guys that have done it for several years, and that I think is going to be a theme you're going to hear from me throughout this. And if you look, to be honest, I mean, the Bears have talented football players that are young. They just haven't. Maybe we do this 2 years from here. So, I think, and my argument is going to come a lot from numbers, and those are something they don't have the opportunity to put up is the numbers because of the years. I do think you look at the biggest wild card in the division is maybe the Vikings because, and we'll talk more about it with Justin Jefferson, but his numbers suck last year. Now, mind you, I think I know, and I'm going to give you the caveat you just talked about, but if you're a wide receiver and your quarterback situation is awful, it's really going to hurt what you do. So let's go through this. I think the hot topic one that everybody's debated throughout the years, and the NFC, and we'll come back out on camera just for a second. The NFC, I won't say NFC, the NFL executives / coaches, I don't know what it was exactly, but they came out with they were to rank the quarterbacks in the NFL, came out yesterday, I think. And I think the top one, Drake May was 8, which I didn't love. I thought that was kind of weird. But Jared Goff was 9, Caleb was 10. I believe Jordan Love was 11. So you're right there. I think every time you talk about this division and these quarterbacks, I think you have a great debate. We'll start at quarterback. Your thoughts on quarterbacks in this division, and who's the best one? Who are you taking right now?
We kind of talked about this a month ago when I was at the Memorial. Yes, based on what they've done and their numbers, I will say Jared Goff is the best quarterback in that division. But I don't think it's leaps and bounds better. I think he's the most experienced. He's been to a Super Bowl, and he's leading an offense that he just obviously fits really well in. I mean, he was decent in LA, but once he got to Detroit and got into Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson's offense, he's kind of played like that number 1 draft pick. But I don't think the gap between him and Caleb is that large. Caleb, obviously, we've talked about kind of the completion percentage, which I think is a bit of a misunderstood stat because you watch him and there's some drops in there. But his splash plays, there's nobody I think who makes splash plays better than him. And then I think there's a huge drop-off. Well, not a huge drop-off. I think there's a good-sized drop-off between him and then Jordan Love and Kyler Murray. I mean, I think that the execs and coaches had it right when they had Caleb over Jordan Love. I feel like Jordan Love has not he's not done what I feel like he should be doing with how talented he supposedly is. I haven't seen it yet from him. And Kyler, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see who he is in this offense. He didn't do anything in Arizona, really. To speak of, so that's my take. Yes, it's Jared Goff's the best quarterback in that division, but I don't think Caleb's too far behind.
I would say this when it comes to Kyler Murray, he does worry me, Bobby. I don't know why. He's a former number 1 overall pick, and what Kevin O'Connell does with quarterbacks does concern me. I don't think it's a for sure thing. If I was a Vikings fan, I wouldn't like hinging my season on, hopefully he creates that magic. It's one of those, I think Iowa fans say it sometimes when it's things come together good for Iowa. I want substance over hope, if that makes any sense. So Kyler is there. I'll say this, Bobby. I didn't know this going into it. I would honestly, if I'm looking at the future, I do want Caleb over Jordan Love simply because I think Jordan Love's had a larger sample size of what he's been able to do, and we don't know yet about Caleb. And I didn't think I'd say that. But I'll say this. I think the gap between Jared Goff, who's obviously my best quarterback in the division, and the others, I think it's it's bigger than what people think. Like if you look at since 2023, some of the numbers for Jared Goff are crazy. 101 touchdown passes. That's the most in the NFL since 2023. 13,768 yards passing, the most passing yards in football since 2023. He averages 270 yards per game. That's the most in football. 17 300-yard games. That's the most in football. You look at completions over 20 yards. He's got the most completions over 20 yards in football since 2023. Yes, completion percentage does count, Bears fans. I don't know why people give him the well, it's not that big a deal. It does count when you're missing receivers, and he does. Yes, drops happen.
But it's not that he doesn't count. It's that he's not. He misses. Yes, there are some throws he misses receivers. Everyone misses receivers. There's been a lot of drops, and
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd love to
go through. I'd love to go through. In fact, there's some egregious drops that there have been in last year, and I'd like to go through and kind of like take the ones that should have been caught. No, I'm not talking off fingertips. I'm talking about hitting them with both hands and just drop, and what his completion percentage is. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to be like 65%, but it's not as low as it would be. And so you've got to take that into account.
I think every fan base, and it comes with injuries too. Like every fan base complains about injuries. My fan base, my team was hurt so much, and this is what. But I think the reason why that is because you watch your team and you don't realize that. If I think Bears fans think there's a ton of drops, and I get it, and you can go through it. I'm not disputing them. But if you watched 17 Lions games, you'd be like, man, there was a bunch of drops. Or I just think that like fan bases get caught up with what happened with their guys and not realize that it does happen all the time in the NFL. And I will agree. But
I'll be fair to you. I agree. I pay attention to the Lions too. They had a lot of injuries the last couple of years. I think that's been the thing that's kept them back. I mean, especially on 100%. Defense. They can't stay healthy on defense, and then they can't stop anybody when it comes down the stretch. So I mean, I'd pay attention to the other teams in the division, and I'll give you the injury thing for.
I'm just saying you
Detroit.
don't watch
I'll give
every
the
single.
I'll give the injury thing for Green Bay. Green Bay's suffered a lot of injuries too over the last few years too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's not just.
I'll say this real fast though, and that's more for, it's more for like you not watching every single play. So like, and I don't do it. I try, and people think I'm crazy. I try to go back and watch every Bears game, simply because if I'm gonna talk about it, I should know what I'm gonna talk about. So, but like the drops wise, like I think they're not. You haven't watched, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. You don't watch every single play of a Lions game. I don't watch every single play of a Vikings game. So I think it's always the bad things and the good things are always magnified for everybody's team because they're living it, they're watching it, and those type of things. But 104.6 passer rating, second overall in the NFL. So if you look at Jared Goff has the most touchdown passes, yards, and best completion percentage of any quarterback in football over the last 3 years, 23, 24, 25. Like, I know people look at the dynamic playmaking ability of Caleb, but Bobby, if I said to you that in 3 years, Caleb Williams led the NFL in touchdown passes, in yards per game, and all the things that I just mentioned, you would tell me that Caleb Williams is the best quarterback maybe in football, more or less, just in the division. I just think that Jared Goff gets a bad rap because I know numbers are just numbers, but man, they tell a lot of a story. And if any of these quarterbacks on the list had these numbers, they would immediately be at the top of the list, and it wouldn't even be a question. Again, Caleb hasn't had the chance to do that.
I would say you're predicting the future. I mean, that's what's going to happen
with Caleb.
With Caleb,
I don't want just.
I would say going back to that list, like I would have put Goff over Drake May. I would have put Goff and Caleb over Drake May. I think Drake May is quickly becoming one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, finishing second in MVP votes, I didn't see that last year. Now there's some questions about how that happened with what's happened this offseason, but that Patriots schedule was really, really easy, and I think they took advantage of that. I mean, that guy got exposed in the Super Bowl. I mean, he looked like he's never played an NFL game before. So I'm not prepared to say Drake May is like better than Caleb or Jared Goff. So I would say that's.
It's funny,
and again, going back to that list, you look at it. I would say Jared Goff's better than Justin Herbert. I think that list had some flaws.
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely.
I don't understand Justin Herbert hype. The guy has not won a thing.
He reminds me of Matthew Stafford.
I think Jared Goff's a top 5-6 quarterback in the league, and I think Caleb's not far behind him. So
yeah, I think Caleb. We agree with the first part, and Caleb's just 2 years in. So, like, that's the thing that you got to be careful with, and I'm going to get painted as is like you hate Caleb Williams. The flash plays are there, the dynamics is there, the stuff you can do off script is there. But Bobby is 69, like Jared Goff 69% passing. Caleb's 58% passing. That's a huge difference.
I've told you Jared Goff is better.
I know. I'm not. We're gonna move on, but I'm just like the percentage thing. I think is a big deal. I really do. And again, you're talking about a guy who was the number 1 overall pick 10 years ago, and a guy who, what is it, or whatever it is. I don't want to, probably 10, maybe 9 years ago for Jared Goff, and a guy that was 3 years ago as well. Back to the list. Back to this list. Running back. Bobby, I don't know how it's not. I mean, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best in football. I don't understand the Bijan Robinson. I mean, I do get it. He's very good. I just, when those two are brought up in conversation, I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Do you agree that it's Jahmyr Gibbs? And then who would the second best running back in this division be?
Well, the one thing, just going to the Bijan thing, is I'll be curious if that changes once with Gibbs now being like the guy. Now, I agree with you. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in football. Guy is explosive, but he's shared the backfield with Montgomery for a few years, and I think that maybe is the reason why he kind of slipped to Bijan. But anyway, but yes, it's no question that he's the best running back in this division. Behind him, like, he probably leaned Josh Jacobs. I like DeAndre Swift. I think you know him as a Lions, as he was a former Lion, and then I think he worked really well in Ben Johnson's office, but I don't think he's better than Josh Jacobs. Now the question, of course, I mean, the thing with Aaron Jones is Aaron Jones even going to be like the guy this year? He's 31 years old. Jordan Mason's behind him, but I will not say a 31-year-old is somebody I'd rely on. So I mean, I would say Josh Jacobs is the second best running back in this division. He's 28. I think DeAndre Swift's 27. I think DeAndre Swift can maybe do a little bit more, but also Kyle Monunga is sitting there on the Bears roster too, and that he had a heck of a rookie year. So I'm not sure how much he's going to take away from DeAndre Swift. So, right now it's Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs are the number 1 and number 2, I would say, and then I would say DeAndre Swift is 3 and Aaron Jones is 4.
I would agree with that, and I'd say too. There's probably some Bears fans that look at this, and this is nothing against DeAndre Swift, but say Monunga deserves to be on there. And then you can get in the conversation of best duos. I will say I understand the reason why David Montgomery's in Houston is because he became a backup running back last year, if that makes any sense. I think the first couple years in the league with Jahmyr Gibbs, he was Sonic and Knuckles, and it became pretty obvious. I think 2 years ago, towards the end of the season, David Montgomery got hurt. Jahmyr Gibbs became the guy, and it got to a point where it's like, well, he is not just 1A, 1B, he's 1, and David Montgomery's 2. And that's no offense to David Montgomery. I think he's going to have a good year with the Texans. So I do agree with that. But, I mean, there's going to be some Bears fans that say Kyle Monunga deserves to be maybe that picture up there, and might be, if we talk about this in 2 years, and maybe not now, but maybe in 2 years, that's Kyle Monunga's picture up there, not that. So I would agree with almost everything you said there, Bobby. So right now we agree.
Yeah, I would say DeAndre Swift is still RB1 in that offense. Kyle Monunga has got to prove it for full year. I love Kyle Monunga. I think he's going to be a great player, but I think any Bears fan would say yes. Right now, DeAndre Swift's the 1.
All right, Bobby Metcalf joining us right now and Off There with Matt Randazzo. Looking at the best positions in the NFC North, and the one that's the obvious one. And I put something up on social media, and yes, in my heart of hearts, I probably would agree. But you go to number 1 wide receiver. I'm telling you, Bobby, and you know it too. Amon-Ra St. Brown is outstanding. He's a top 5 receiver in the league. Yes. Justin Jefferson is probably the best overall wide receiver in this division. I don't think it's as big a gap as a lot of people think. Your thoughts on number one wide receiver, and I'm sure you're not disrespecting Amon-Ra, but Justin Jefferson's pretty good.
Yeah, as I said at the top, he's probably number 2, the second best receiver in the NFL. Yeah, he had a down year last year, but J.J. McCarthy, I think, there's a reason J.J. McCarthy's not on this graphic and he was the starting quarterback last year. I think there's a big reason for that. And it wasn't even just
him. It was Brosmer or Brosmer or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Max Brosmer. And I think that's a huge reason for why he had a down year. I would still say Justin Jefferson is, I said, behind Jamar Chase, the second best receiver in the NFL. But again, that's not disrespect to Amon-Ra. I agree with you that he's in the top 5. I don't know who I would maybe put between him and between Jefferson and Amon-Ra, but So yes, I will give you that he's very, very good. He's really, really good. But you cannot. I don't think anybody can look at me with a straight face and say, "Oh, he's better than Justin Jefferson," just because Jefferson had a bad year last year.
I would agree. That would be the one caveat that I would give. Of the other two, I'm not a Christian Watson guy. I think the Packers paid him a whole bunch of money, and he doesn't stay healthy. And Rome, I don't want to say is injury prone, but I think this is a big season for Rome going into year 3 and staying more healthy. And obviously the Bears have a ton of confidence in him. They shipped DJ Moore away and said, hey, like we have a ton of faith in Rome Odunze. Your thoughts on the last 2 teams there? Would you rather have an injury prone Christian Watson? And is Rome going down that road, or is he somebody that's just going to be a lot better than Christian Watson ended up being?
I would rather have Rome Odunze. I've watched several years of Christian Watson, and I haven't seen it either. Like you said, really injury prone. When he's healthy, he's decent, but when he's healthy, he's still not even – I'm not even sure he's the best receiver on that team sometimes. I'd much rather have Rome over him. Now, Rome's foot injury is concerning. That's the kind of injury that can kind of derail careers. So, yeah. When he was healthy, he was solid. He's young. He's the same draft class as Caleb, so he's kind of figuring it out too in his own offense. But excuse me.
Bless you, Bobby.
I would take him right now over Watson. He's younger. He hasn't had the injury history that Christian Watson's had, although I said this foot injury is concerning. But there's a big gap. We talk about the gap between quarterbacks, and I don't think it's that big. And I don't think it's but there's a huge gap, I think, between Amon-Ra and Rome Odunze. I wouldn't have said the same thing about DJ Moore. I really like DJ Moore. I kind of sad they shipped him off. I get why they did. I always thought DJ Moore was probably like, if you say Amon-Ra's top 5, that DJ's top 10. So I think he's going to do really well in Buffalo with Josh Allen throwing to him. But yeah, there's a big gap here in receiving talent for wide receiver 1.
Ready for me to get you to shake your head and get cranky with me?
Sure.
We're kind of going into the wide receiver 2 here on this list. If
you're going to say you think Jameson Williams is better than Rome Odunze,
it's not. Honestly, it's not close. It's not even close. Mm-hmm. The fact that it's even brought up about, like, has Rome Odunze been anywhere near 1,000 yards receiving?
Like 2 years.
People don't realize it when it comes to Jameson Williams. He's had 1,000 yards receiving the last 2 years. He's been outstanding, and I don't. That's the one thing maybe I don't understand when it comes to. He is a deep play threat. He's a big play threat, but he had over 1,100 yards receiving last year. He had over 1,000 yards receiving the year before that. The thing that got him off track was, one, they drafted him in 2022, and he was hurt the entire year, and they drafted him knowing he would be hurt and wasn't going to play much. He played 1 game and caught 1 pass. And then in 2023, he had the gambling thing, which is hilarious now because where we're at with gambling and what's going on. But he missed a bunch of that year, and it was a little uneven. But 2024, Bobby, 58 receptions, 1,000 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, 65 receptions last year, over 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns. There's not a guy on this list that touches that. Like, there's not a guy.
He's in his 4th year, and he didn't do it and didn't start getting over 1,000 yards until his until his year 3. So I mean, yeah, he's more experienced and he's in an offense that he knows. I mean, again, Odunze's was in his second offense last year and got hurt down the stretch. I think Odunze would have been a 1,000-yard receiver if he hadn't gotten hurt, because he missed a ton of games last year with that foot injury. So I mean, again, we're talking injuries. We've talked about, like, the things off, the things you can't control on the field, off the field. But I mean, I think Odunze's got the talent to be a number 1 receiver.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I mean, I think Jameson Williams does. I think Jameson Williams does too. I mean, if you take Amon-Ra off that team, and I think he's solid. He's probably number 1. But like,
he's arguably their 4th.
Odunze missed 5 games. Odunze missed 5 games last year. I mean,
absolutely. But he's arguably their 4th option on that offense. If you go Gibbs and Amon-Ra, and arguably I say 3rd or 4th because Sam Laporta, we're going to talk about that in a second, is right there too. I'm not kidding you. If you put him on any other team besides the Lions and the Vikings in the division, Jameson Williams is the number 1 receiver. And Bears fans would love him. If Jameson Williams was on the Bears right now, he'd be number 1 wide receiver. He just would be. You hate it, maybe. But I'm right. I'm just saying, and I'm not. And again, we can argue that, and we'll go back to the list. We can argue that when you get to Luther Burden in maybe even next year, which I pumped the brakes on some of that, but maybe even next year, this is a complete different conversation. You know what I mean? Like, he could easily be there's some Bears fans that watch this and go, I think Luther Burden in 2 years is going to be better than Rome Odunze. Would you think something like that?
It's going to be on the foot. It's going to depend on the injury for Rome. I mean, I think that. Let me put it this way: if DJ Moore is on this list, as the Bears wide receiver 1 and Rome Odunze is number 2, I feel better about the Bears receiving core than I do right now.
And not a lot of Bears fans will say that.
I love Luther Burden. I might agree with that statement that I think he might be the Bears wide receiver 1 in a couple of years. I think the Bears receiving core is more versatile than it was last year. I do like Khalif Raymond as a signing. Xavier Thomas is getting rave reviews in camp, so there's a lot to like, and they all do different things. But DJ Moore was a guy that you could trust to go out and get you that game-winning touchdown against the Packers, and I haven't seen it yet from Odunze. Luther Burden's a guy who, in his rookie year, once he got his feet under him, was one of the most reliable receivers on that, probably in football. I think he only had 1 drop all year, and it was late in the season. I want to say maybe it was in that Rams game. I mean, so you tell me Rome Odunze is the Bears number 1, and I think there's potential there, but it doesn't make me feel as good as when DJ Moore was, because I just trust DJ Moore more.
No, I mean, it's I think the big thing about this list is experience, and we kind of talked about at the beginning is Lions have established guys. I mean, Packers do too. Vikings do. I mean, the everybody on this Bears list, we'll look at the list again, but Bobby, everybody on the list for the Bears, and I hate the Bears, but everybody on the list is, besides DeAndre Swift, is going into their 3rd or less season. What is it? 3rd year for Caleb. 3rd year for Rome, 2nd year. Absolutely. So I think that's a big thing.
I think I would take Luther Burden over Jayden Reed and Jordan Addison right now, hands down.
Yeah, I would over Jordan Addison for sure. But then again, I don't know. I mean, Jordan Addison had a bunch of hype to him as well, and had a good rookie season, and then the quarterback situation's just been. I had a Vikings fan on social media say to me, like, we just don't know what the Vikings other guys are like because they didn't have a quarterback last year. So, and again, there's still questionable if they have a quarterback this year. Let's do tight end real quick, and we'll let you get out of here. I think it's a very talented group of wide receiver of tight ends as well. I think it's one of those you look at and you're like, wow, this is a great group. I will say the Sam Laporta's mustache automatically makes him the best guy on the list because that stash is great.
It's incredible.
Again, I'll go numbers, and I'm not trying to be the guy that, because I know stats can lie. Sam Laporta was hurt last year. He had 40 receptions in like 8 or 9 games. He was on pace to catch 80 passes again. His rookie season, Sam's rookie season last year, or when he was a rookie, and everybody was really excited about Colston Loveland, and I get it. He really popped, especially late in the season and in the postseason, and that's the most important thing. So I'm not putting down Colston Loveland. But as of right now, as we sit here today, you can't take one half of a really good season from Colston Loveland and say it's better than 3 years of production from Sam Laporta. Yes, the back injury worries me. I think he's going to be okay. From all reports, sounds like it's going to be fine. But they're doing parades in Chicago right now, Bobby, because Colston Loveland had 58 catches for 713 and 6 touchdowns. Sam Laporta's rookie season, he had 86 receptions for 889 and 10 touchdowns. Like, different atmosphere than what Colston Loveland was at. So I like Colston Loveland a lot. I do. I'll put Sam Laporta first. I'll still put Tucker Kraft second, and then Colston Loveland right there at third. I love TJ Hawkinson, but the amount of injuries he's had, and I think they're starting to catch up with him. And again, the quarterback play was awful last year as well. So I think TJ is fourth on the list. But boy, those two, it's very similar to me. Tight end and quarterback are very similar. Laporta, there's a little bit of a gap right now. Loveland and Kraft, you can flip a coin. In fact, just so Bears fans don't hate me, I'll go Loveland over Kraft, and then T.J. Hawkinson is fourth on the list. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna go against every bone in my Bears body and say I think Tucker Kraft's the best tight end of this group.
Wow,
I mean,
he flashed last year, man. He did.
He was on pace for over 1,000 yards and like 10 plus touchdowns before he tore his ACL. I mean, he was unstoppable. I get it. I like Laporta. Obviously Iowa guy. You talk about options in that offense though, and it kind of feels like I don't know, 40 catches in 9 games is kind of feels like low production a little bit.
Who for Sam?
For Laporta, yeah, 40 catches in 9
half
games.
The season, he's on pace to 75? Not quite half, a little more than half.
I don't know. I would say Tucker Kraft is.
Remember, we're throwing parades in Chicago for 58 receptions.
I'm not throwing a parade in Chicago.
Well, a lot of Bears fans are throwing it like they love Colston Loveland, and that's okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I think he's. And I'll ask you as a Bears fan because I didn't. How was Loveland blocking wise? I think Laporta is really good, and that's one thing you have to remember with these as well. Is that I don't really look at the blocking side of things with Kraft. They can tell me he's good, he's not good. I don't know. Same thing with Loveland. I do know that Sam Laporta is really good in the run game, and it really affected the run game when he went down the last 7-8 games of the season. So you tell me how was Loveland last year in your thought when it comes to the other side of the tight end equation, which is blocking.
Tucker Kraft is a really good blocker. I'll say that. The thing with Loveland, it's like he's not that blocking tight end. He's the go out and catch it kind of guy. I mean, that's what Cole Kmet is the run blocking tight end. Now, I mean, Cole Kmet, we all thought was going to be like a Sam Laporta, Tucker Kraft, a Colston Loveland, and he's never kind of taken that next level. And I think his time in Chicago might be coming to an end here shortly. But Loveland has not been asked to do that because he's had Cole Kmet to do that for him. So if he has, so I really can't tell you how great a blocker he really has been.
You go Kraft, then who do you go after that?
I mean, Hawkinson's a pretty good blocker too.
I'm just saying overall. Who do you go? You go Kraft overall.
Again, overall, I go Kraft, Laporta, Loveland, and then Hawkinson. The only question is just his injuries. I mean, Kraft's coming off an ACL, and Laporta had the back thing. So, how effective they're going to be? How long is it going to take him to get on the field and get back to healthy, back to where they were? Loveland wasn't hurt last year, so you could see Loveland maybe taking off right at the start of the year while Kraft and Laporta get kind of back into shape. But yeah, talent-wise, or at least production-wise, history-wise, I would say Kraft and Laporta are better. But I think, again, Loveland had a great rookie year and, and really showed up down the stretch. I mean, he was like Caleb's go-to. He was Caleb's go-to guy.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just –
he was the guy.
Yeah, I remember a couple games in, people were like, "Oh, they should have drafted Tyler Warren," and I think Tyler Warren got a bad rap because he was awesome until Daniel Jones went down and they had nobody throwing to him, and his numbers went down, and that's kind of a thing with we talked about Justin Jefferson. It helps to have a good quarterback when you're a tight end or a wide receiver. So, but I remember people were saying like Loveland's not doing anything. They should have taken Warren, and then by the end of the year, so he's trending in the fantastic direction. I'll say this. So overall, Bobby, we agree, like Lions have quarterback, Lions have running back, Lions have wide receiver too. You're okay with that, J-Mo?
Yeah.
And then you have
second. I'll be very curious though, because Luther Burden was wide receiver 3 last year and had the year he had. So I'll be curious ever to what Luther Burden does this year.
Yeah, but his year that he had isn't nowhere close to what Jameson Williams had. Like,
but he was a wide receiver.
People sleep on. People just think that J-Mo has like a couple big long touchdowns and he's super fast. He's become a complete wide receiver.
What I'm saying is that Luther Burden's role last year is not the same role that Jameson Williams has had. So now that he's the number 2 guy, in some cases, some people think he could be the number 1 guy. Let's see what kind of year he has. Sure. Maybe in his second year. So he had a much better rookie year than Jameson Williams did. Let's be honest. I mean, you went into the reasons about it. You went into the reasons without. That's fine, but you went into the reasons without it. So fine. Yeah. You want to go off of numbers. He had 600 plus yards receiving when Jameson Williams had 41. So
but games played have to be the same too. That's the thing.
They don't have to be. They don't have to be. You're talking about you're talking about the Stanley Porter and Tucker Kraft's injuries. We're talking Tucker Kraft doesn't get hurt. He's probably a 1,000-yard receiver with 10 plus touchdowns.
No, I would agree that Tucker Kraft he was a monster last year. When the Packers lost him, I would arguably say, did the Packers lose their best player on both sides of the football?
Yeah, they lost. And the thing was like what back-to-back weeks or something. They lost Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons.
I think Micah was later. I think Tucker was like after 8 weeks, and then Micah was like Micah only missed like the last 4 games of the year because they didn't win another game. They didn't win another game of the season without Micah Parsons, and he's not going to be ready to go right away. And I'm not saying that in a positive way.
Look, as much fun as it was watching the Bears beat the Packers those 2 weeks, they probably don't beat him with Tucker Kraft and Micah Parsons around the field.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, injuries are a big part of this whole thing and how it fits in. But I just want to say I'm not crazy. I said Lions arguably have the best player at every position. I mean, if you're saying you're 2 on 2 of them and close with them, I'm okay with that. And I would agree. When I said that Lions arguably have the best, I even said on social media, Justin Jefferson, I'd probably if I was a GM in football, I'd probably take Justin Jefferson too. But it's not that big of a gap. It's not that big of a gap as people think.
All right, here's a question. Who would you rather have, Justin on the Lions? Justin Jefferson or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
That's what I was just – and I mean, you don't understand. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown and what he's done with that culture. But I'm sure if Justin Jefferson came in at the same time and had the same rise with the team, I would feel the same way about Justin Jefferson. But it's not, like I said, it's not that big of a. You look at production. I know what I'm going to get from Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I don't. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Justin Jefferson too. So yes, I'll say Justin Jefferson just for the sake of argument to get out of the way. But with that being said, it's a really super talented division. Bobby, we're going to talk and argue a lot of Bears throughout the season. This one was pretty tame. There's going to be some times we get into it a little bit, I think. But again, big theme for me. It's a talented division. Lions are more established right now with their stars. The Bears' stars are super young. I'll say this real quick. Besides Jared Goff, the Lions stars are really young too. I mean, Jameer's 24, 25. Amon-Ra's 25. J-Mo's 24. Laporta's 25. Now, not as young, but they're only a few years away from what the Bears are when it comes to youth as well. So we'll argue again soon. You pick the topic next time.
I'm going to say the Lions wasted their youth.
Why you gotta end a perfectly nice conversation by doing
They had those young years where the Bears and the Lions and the Packers weren't great and they couldn't get to the
they
Super
don't.
Bowl.
What do they waste? Are you done? Do people retire at 26? That's what I don't get.
Some guys do.
Here's
Some
the
guys
one thing.
do.
Here's the one thing I'll say about the Lions is that they better figure it out, ultimate prize wise, because the winning has been great and all that. But they better figure it out ultimate prize wise. You probably got 3 years of Jared Goff left. Is that fair? Is that too many? Now, mind you, he does. He's 31. He's 31. If you're looking for his age, he's 31.
Yeah. I mean, he depends. I mean, Stafford's what, 38, 39, and just won MVP.
And Goff isn't like a mobile quarterback and those type of things. So I think like he could probably get away with a little bit more. But what I'm saying is that's the position. You can talk about all these pieces and everything like that. We just did with the Vikings. If the quarterback's not right, you can have all the Justin Jefferson didn't have a good season because the quarterback wasn't right. So that's the one like you have to figure out and make sure you have correct moving forward, or the rest of it's a huge trickle down effect, obviously. So Bobby, I appreciate you.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is that we went through this, and I think we all agree that the Vikings have the best. Or you will begrudgingly agree the Vikings have the best player at one position. The Packers arguably have the best player at one position. The Bears don't. I think we're in agreement. The Bears don't have the best player at any position, but I think they came off. They just won the division, and there's a lot of talk that they're going to be favored to win the division again, and it's just that's interesting.
It's crazy what luck will do in the world of football. No, I kid.
Or good coaching. Maybe if Ben Johnson was still in the Lions.
But if we did that in the division, next time we'll do that. Coaches in the division. I mean, I can't bash any of them. The only one I can bash kind of is LaFleur because he gave games away last year. But other than that, they're all really, really good. Kevin O'Connell scares the heck out of me. So, all right, Bobby, behave yourself. We'll catch up again soon. Thanks, pal.
Sounds great.
All right, that is Bobby Metcalf talking some NFL football, and please weigh in the chat below, social media as well. I know familiar faces of Bears fans, and again, it's going to be such a fun season, and I hope it's not a long season for me. But when it comes to those kind of things, I think two things, and then we'll go to break. Jared Goff is a lot better than what people think, and numbers show that. And then two, I do think the Bears offense is got a punch of potential. We'll see how it all works out as they move through. A lot to be excited about. Has to come to fruition. I think the Lions has come to fruition more. Doesn't mean you win football games. Offensive line's important. Defense is important. All of those kind of things important as well. Man, I can't wait for football season. We got more to get to. It's OTA on a Tuesday right here in the Quad Cities.
Hello, Crawford Company.
You're not going to believe this. My air conditioning, plumbing, and electricity are all on the fritz at the same time.
Well, lucky for you, we do all three.
Hey, it's the Crawford guy. One call to Crawford can fix all your household problems. For heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, count on the experts at Crawford Company.
Like me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy. Bryant, whatever it takes.
For over 65 years, Linquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities. And they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Linquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to OTA here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Texting about Snoop and watching his commercial at the same time. Everybody wants some Snoops, and I don't blame them. Welcome back. It's been a fun day here on OTA. Really enjoyed catching up with Jack Heflin. Really a good guy. Fantastic journey. Getting ready for year 6 in the NFL. Great opportunity with the Jets as well. So everyone will be keeping their eyes on that. Erie Prophetstown. Extremely proud of that young man. If you missed that interview, go back and check it out. That 1 year at Iowa, man, I was somebody on the chat was mentioning he was so good, and I'm like, man, I wish Iowa had him for more than 1 year, because he was, and he had a blast at Iowa, and he's still in Iowa City right now. So you can tell how much that program meant to him, and obviously him and his now wife back in the Iowa City area as well. So if you missed that, go check it out. Really fun conversation with Jack Heflin. Also, great thank you to Bobby and Metcalf. Been wanting to do that for about a week and a half now. Football season is right around the corner when it comes to the NFL. The NFC North will be fascinating. The Bears have a lot to be excited for. Lions have a ton to be excited for. Packers will be good once again this year. Vikings are intriguing as ever. So a fun time, and we'll do a lot more NFL football as the Sundays get closer. It's right around the corner, so we're excited about that as well. So coming up later this week on the show, hoping to have Cooper Schulte on the show tomorrow. Iowa baseball player, drafted last week, or I should say last weekend. New London product as well. So hopefully we can snag him tomorrow on the show as well. Tomorrow there's an open practice in Iowa City. Hoping to follow up on that on Thursday. So a bunch more to get to here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A busy week of baseball and softball, so we'll keep our eyes on that as well as teams get ready to punch their ticket to state. And in both softball and baseball. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Again, no show on Friday. We will not have a show on Friday, and then no shows next week. Vacation for the Randazzos. So we'll be back and ready to rock the week after that as well. I want to thank you guys for watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you to our sponsors, and we will see you guys back here again tomorrow.